Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our virtual Mishnah Berurah share. So we pick up today in Mishnah Berurah Chelik Hey on Pei Tesam and Beis, and of course we are continuing in Hilchos Pesach, and we pick up today with Siman Tuf Pei Aleph, where the Mechaber says Shaloi Lishtois Achar Arba Koisais, the halacha that you are not permitted to drink after the four kaisais, uboy be seifim, and here we have two seifim. Says the Shulchan Aruch, achar arba kaisais, after the drinking of the four kaisais, einay rashtoi lishtois yayin, you are not permitted to drink wine, elamayim, you could only drink water. Haggah, the Ramah says, v'chal hamashkin dinon ki yayin, all other beverages have the same din as yayin. Says the Mishnah Berurah in Ois Cotton Aleph. So what's the problem over here? Why is it that after completing the four kaisais, you're not allowed to drink any other yayin? Says the Mishnah Berurah, Eina Rashoi, Harbe Taimim Yesh Bazeh B'Paiskim. There are many different reasons that are brought down in the Paiskim why the halacha is this way, that after the Dalet kaisais, you can't drink any yayin. Yesh Kasfu, there are those that write, and this he brings down from the Gra, Mishum mitzvah l'saper b'yitzias Mitzrayim, because we know that there's a mitzvah to discuss the nisim of Yitzias Mitzrayim, u'benifla'osav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and of all of the wonders that the Rebbeinu Shalom performed, afilu kol halayla, even the entire night on Pesach. Kol zman shaloi chatafata shina, as long as sleep does not overtake you. So really, there's a mitzvah even after we finish the whole seder. There's a mitzvah to sit and discuss the nisim and the neflais of Yitzias Mitzrayim the whole night until you fall asleep. And like we're going to see shortly in Seif Beis, therefore, the halacha is lo yishteh. We don't want you to drink anything. Shalo yishtaker, so you should not become inebriated. V'yizbatel mi mitzvah zu, and you'll be mevatel this mitzvah. You won't fulfill this mitzvah. So for that reason, the Gra says, don't drink any wine after the fourth kaisais, because it's going to put you to sleep, and you're not going to be mekayim this mitzvah of being misaper b'yitzias Mitzrayim kol halayla. Ulefi svarazu, according to this rationale, dafka yayin oishar mashke hamashaker. If this is the reason why we're telling you can't drink after the Dalet kaisais, this clearly only applies to a beverage that can intoxicate, like yayin. However, v'yeshe kasvu, there are those that write that the reason why you're told not to drink after the four kaisais is the lo yehi nireh kemoisef al ha-kaisais, because we don't want it to look like you're adding an additional kais. The mitzvah that Chazal was misakin or dalet kaisais, not more. If you're going to drink more now, it looks like you're adding on a kais. Shenireh kemaschel b'suda acheres. By adding on a kais, it looks like you're starting another suda now. Well, according to that rationale, Kol chamar medina aser av she'ena meshaker. If that's the reason why you can't drink, then it would apply to any chamar medina, any kind of beverage that's usable as one of the kaisais. We said if you don't have yayin, you could use something other than yayin. You could use another chamar medina, a chash of a beverage that you would serve to a guest to honor him. So since any beverage that you drink that's eligible to be used as one of the Dalet kaisais would be a problem here. V'yeshe kasu, and still there are others who write mishum shelo yispatel tamatzu mipiv al yidei shtiyasei, that the reason not to drink anything after the Dalet kaisais is because we don't want you to drink anything that's going to take away the tam of the afikomen. We already saw previously that you're not allowed to eat anything after the afikomen because we want the tam of the mitzvah to remain in your mouth. So too, we don't want you to drink after the Dalet kaisais because we don't want you to take the tam of the matzah out of your mouth. Just like the reason why we said you're not allowed to eat after the end of the Seder. Well, according to this rationale, kol mashke, any beverage, any beverage, even if it's not a chamar medina, so it's not eligible to be used as one of the kaisais, and it's not mishaker, it doesn't cause intoxication, but any beverage aser, any kind of beverage would be aser to drink after the Dalet kaisais, because whatever it is, it could be mevatel the tam of the mitzvah, and we don't want you using anything that will be mevatel the tam of the mitzvah. Umestimas divrei hamechaber v'ramah, says the Chavetz Chaim, that from the way the Mechaber and the Ramah write this halacha without any exceptions, mashma, the implication is shadaitam lahachmir, that it's their opinion that you should rule stringently, kechol hani tami, like all of these various reasons. So if you rule stringently, you're not allowed to drink anything after the Daled Kaisais, even if it's not mishaker, even if it's a beverage that does not cause intoxication, so we don't have to worry that it's going to make you fall asleep, even if it's not a Chamar Medina, so it's a beverage that's not eligible for use as one of the kaisais, and we don't have a problem of nira kamaisif ala kaisais. And why can you drink nothing? Because we have to worry about the last reason. We don't want you to drink something that will be mevatel the tam of the matzah. However, when we call makim, nevertheless, says the Chavetz Chaim, kasvu ha'achrayim, the achrayim write, the ingber vaser. I don't know exactly what the translation of ingber vaser is, but it seems to me that this means some kind of beverage that was made out of ginger. So I don't know if this is the precursor to ginger ale. I don't know exactly what this is, but ingber vaser, from the Targumim, from the translations that I've seen, it seems to be something made out of ginger. V'hoadin te, or tea, or apple trank, or some kind of a weak apple drink, some kind of an apple juice that doesn't have a very strong taste, or an apple cider that doesn't have a very strong taste. V'yesha kasu gam lekritz, also some kind of beverage called lekritz that I have no idea what it is. Mutter. Chavetz Chaim says these kind of beverages should be mutter. Because these beverages have a weak enough taste that they are not capable of being mevatel the tam matzah. And these beverages are just like water. So they're not going to be mevatel the tam matzah, and they're not a chamar medina, so it doesn't look like nirika meisif al hakoisais, and they're not mishaker, so you don't have a problem of shema tichtefenu shina that it'll make you fall asleep and it will prevent you from being misaper b'yitzias Mitzrayim kol halayla. In the brackets here, the Chavetz Chaim writes, "Achein ba'apple trank." When it comes to this apple cider or apple juice, shekoitesh esatapulchim bebeis habad. If it's a real fresh squeezed apple cider, I've tasted this in an establishment that I shop by sometimes in New Jersey, Delicious Orchards. They press their own apple cider. The press is right there next to the apples. You can mamish see they just take the apples, put it in the press, and press it, and it is beyond delicious, but it has a very strong apple flavor. So apple trank, this apple cider where they mamish press the apples, v'yesh lehem tam gadol, and it has a very strong taste, yesh oisrim. That there are those that would aser, because you do have the problem of it being mevatel the tam matzah. V'hinei, continues the Chavetz Chaim, v'hinei, after lechatchila nachan lahachmir b'chol davar shemevatel tam matzah, even though I'm telling you here that there is a very good reason to be machmer on any kind of beverage that can be mevatel the tam matzah, mikamakim, nevertheless, b'makim tzorich gadol, if there's a very pressing need, yesh lismay chasfara harishayna, you could rely on the first rationale that we saw, lahataloy lishtay sharmashkin she'ein mishakrin, so that you could drink any beverage that is not intoxicating. And therefore, you don't have to worry about Shema Tichtefenu Shina. So in a time of great need, it's after the Dalet Kaisais and you're very, very thirsty and you have no choice, you have to take a drink, you could rely on that svara and you could drink a beverage that does not cause intoxication. Ubeprat, certainly B'leil Sheni, on the second Seder night, Bevada Yesh Lahakal, certainly then you could rule leniently, B'sha'ar mashkin she'ein mishakrin, and you could drink beverages that don't cause intoxication. Okay. Now we go to the last line of the Shulchan Aruch here on Pei Tes Amud Beis, and we continue the words of the Ramah. And I have to tell you that this Ramah and the accompanying Mishnah Berurah and Biur Halacha gave me a very hard time over Shavuos. I believe I understand what the Ramah and what the Chavetz Chaim are saying. I hope I'm saying it properly. I think so. It sounds interesting, but I hope I'm getting it right. Says the Ramah, we're always mispal when we learn Torah. We say the tefillah from the Chunya ben Hakana that the Rabbanan Shalom should protect us and be mezaka us, that we shouldn't say anything that anybody should have a michshel from. We shouldn't say a dvar halacha that somebody then goes and unfortunately learns something wrong from us. I tried, I worked it over, I discussed it with other people. I hope I'm saying it right. Says the Ramah, Omi shahu istinis, somebody who's very sensitive, somebody who's very delicate. Omi shahu istinis. Oitoiv harbe lishtois, or he's very, very thirsty. He has very great need to drink. Yachal lishtois kais chamishi. He could drink a fifth kais. And we're going to get to what this means. V'yomer alav halal hagadol. And he will accompany that fifth kais with the recitation of the halal hagadol. Now let's remember, what's the halal hagadol? So like we explained previously, the halal that we generally say on Rosh Chodesh, on Yom Tov, that's called halal hamitzri. What's halal hagadol? Halal hagadol is what we said that after we finish the regular halal by the Seder, after we finish the halal hamitzri, we say halal hagadol, which are the 26 psukim of kapitel Kuf Lamed Vav and Tehillim, Haidul Hashem Kitayv Ki La'olam Chastai, Haidul Adonai Ha'adonim Ki La'olam Chastai. The 26 Ki La'olam Chastai, that's called halal hagadol. So says the Ramah, if you're very thirsty, you have a very great desire to drink. So if you're an istinis, if you're of delicate nature, or you're very, very thirsty, you could drink a fifth kais and drink that fifth kais over the recitation of the halal hagadol. Exactly what's the hechetimtze here? What's the case that the Ramah is describing? So says the Mishnah Berurah on the bottom of Pei Tesam and Beis, in Ice Cotton Beis, Toiv harbe lishtois. If somebody has a great desire to drink, afilu yayin, he has a need to drink wine. Ice Cotton Gimel, he could drink a fifth kais, v'yomer alav halal hagadol, and he will recite the halal hagadol over that fifth kais. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Dafka, this ruling of the Ramah applies only im loy siyem adayin habracha, if he did not yet finish the bracha. What bracha is the Chavetz Chaim referring to? He's referring to Melech Mehulal Batishpachos. You drank the third kais after Birkas Hamazon. Now you're up to the part of the Seder, you're up to Hallel. Hallel is what you recite over the fourth kais. So let's say you're in the middle of saying Hallel, and you're very, very thirsty, and you want to drink extra wine. Now, you know that the halacha is that between the third kais and the fourth kais, you're not supposed to drink. And you also know that after the fourth kais, you're not allowed to drink at all. But you're looking and you're saying to yourself, I'm very, very thirsty. And maybe the only thing I have here by my table is wine. I don't have anything else to drink but wine. What can I do? So says the Chavetz Chaim, that's the case that the Ramah is addressing. Dafka im lo siyam adayin habracha. You're in middle of Hallel. You have not yet finished Hallel, and you have not yet said Yehalalucha, or according to different nuschos, Yishtabach. You have not yet made the closing bracha of the Hallel at the Seder, Melech Mehulal Batishpachos. You haven't made that bracha yet. V'shasa kais revius, nor have you yet drunk the fourth kais. So the proper way to read this Mishnah Berurah is Dafka. This ruling of the Ramah is dafka, is specifically and only im loy siyam adayin habracha v'shoisa kais revius. If you have not yet finished the closing bracha of the Hallel, and you have not yet drank the fourth kais. As in such a case, yachal loimer halal hagadol, you could recite the halal hagadol, Haidul Hashem Kitayv Ki La'olam Chastai, etc., and ad Seif, until the end. So that means you say Halal Hagadol and Nishmas and Akel Basatzuma Yisuzecha Uvamakaloi Treichenad Uvamakalis Rivavois Yishtabach Velachtaim Bebracha, and close off with the bracha of Melech Mehulal Batishpachos Velishtais Hakais Hakamishes, and now you could drink a fifth kais. So what does that mean? What happened over here was you drank the third kais, you started Hallel. You realize that you're very thirsty, and one kais of yayin, i.e. the fourth kais that you didn't drink yet, is not going to be enough for you. So what could you do? What you could do is say Hallel HaMitzri, finish off the regular Hallel, stop before Haidul Hashem Kitayv Ki La'olam Chastai, make a Borei Pri Hagafen, and drink a kais. Now, that kais is going to be your kais revius. Why is it going to be a kais revius? Because remember, who's talking over here? This is the Ramah. The shita of the Ramah is that if you drink a kais between kais shlishi and kais revi, you're going to need a new bracha rishayna. Let's remember, according to the Mechaber, the shita of the Mechaber is you make a bari priyagofen on the first kais, but you don't make a bari priyagofen on the second kais, because according to the Mechaber, the bracha rishayna of the second kais is covered by your bracha rishayna on the first kais of kiddush. So according to the Mechaber, do you make another bracha rishayna on the second kais? No, it was covered by the bracha rishayna of the first kais. According to the Mechaber, you also don't make a bracha rishayna on the fourth kais, because the fourth kais is covered by the bracha rishayna of the third kais. That's the shita of the Mechaber, but that's not the shita of the Ramah. According to the Ramah, you have to make a separate bari priyagofen on each one of the fourth kaisais. So now, in this situation that we're addressing, you said Hallel. Now you want to drink a cup of wine. You got to make a bracha rishayna. So what's going on here? You said Hallel. You said the whole Hallel HaMitzri. Now you're picking up a kais of yayin and you're making a bari priyagofen. You can't drink it without a bari priyagofen. So you're making a bari priyagofen and you're drinking a kais of yayin and you just finished reciting the regular Hallel. So according to the Ramah, guess what? I don't care what your intention was. You just drank kais revi. Why not? What's lacking from making it kais revi? You said Hallel and you made a bari priyagofen. So now, what are you going to do now? Now, says the Ramah, you could say Hallel HaGadol, Haidu Hashem Kitov Kilom Chastoi, and Nishmas, etc., and then pick up a kais, make a bari priyagofen, and that's kais chamishis. That's going to be a fifth kais. Now, what is this fifth kais? So, okay, we have a makar, we have precedent for a fifth kais. There is discussion whether or not we should drink 5 kaises or 4 kaises by the Seder. So, okay, so we're going to call this the fifth kais. Now, according to the Mechaber, this would be a little bit different. I believe, I don't see this spelled out. I haven't seen it spelled out anywhere. I would have to do more research. But my belief is that the Mechaber would not say what the Ramah is saying. According to the Mechaber, we would look at it differently. According to the Mechaber, we would say, okay, what's the whole problem here? The problem is that you drank the third kais, you're holding between the third kais and the fourth kais, and you're very thirsty. All right, why can't you drink yayin now? According to the Mechaber, the only reason you can't drink yayin now, we have 2 problems. One is we're afraid that maybe it's going to be intoxicating, maybe Shema Yichtefenu Shina, and you're going to fall asleep and you're not going to be Mekayim the mitzvah of being Mesaper B'Yitzias Mitzrayim Kaloisei Alayla. That's one problem. The other problem is Nira K'maisef Ala Kaisais. All right. B'di'eved, I think the Mechaber would say the problem of Shema Tichtefenu Shina B'di'eved is not such a huge concern. You're only drinking 1 extra kais of yayin. It's all right. So in a pressing circumstance, you're very thirsty, we'll let you drink another kais of yayin. And as far as the problem of nirik k'maisef ala kaisais, you're not making a bari priyagofen, and your intent is not to be maisef ala kaisais. So maybe the Mechaber in a pressing situation would let you get away with that also. But the Ramah can't let you get away with that. Because according to the Ramah, you're making a bari priyagofen on this kais. So behechrich, if you're going to drink yayin now, it's the 4th kais. So therefore, the Ramah is giving you a shtick. The Ramah is telling you that in a pressing circumstances, in a case of b'di'eved, where you're very thirsty and you're toiv lishtais yayin, he's giving you an eitzah. The eitzah is drink the 4th kais over halal hamitzri. Say halal hamitzri, complete halal hamitzri. Make a bari. Don't make the bracha of melech muhul al batishpachos, but make a bari priyagofen on a kais. And that, so to speak, will be your 4th kais. Now say Hallel HaGadol. So you're being meisif more shavach v'hidah to the Rabbeinu Shalom, and make a chasima of melech muhulal batishpachos, and then make a bari priyagofen, and that'll be like a kais chamishis. I believe that's what the Ramah is saying over here. Now you could look in the Bir Halacha, where their Bir Halacha goes into this in a little bit more detail. It's a complex Bir Halacha, so I'm not going to read it now. But I believe that's the ruling of the Ramah here, and that's the explanation of the Mishnah Berurah. So we'll just read the Mishnah Berurah again. Ice cut and gimel. V'yamar alav halal agadol, says the Chavetz Chaim. Dafke im lo siyam adayin habracha v'shasa kais revius. This eighth of the Ramah is only applicable if you did not make the bracha that closes off halal yet, and you didn't yet drink the kais revi. That's when you decided that you're thirsty and you want to drink more. Az yachal loimer halal hagadol at Seif. So now what you could do is you could drink a kais now and then say the halal hagadol v'lachtaim bebracha v'lishtais hakais chamishis. That's when you have this eitzah. Avalim kvar siyam seif habracha. But if you already said the paragraph of Yahalalucha or Yishtabach and you already closed off halal with the bracha of melech muhulal batishbachos, ein lachsa v'loimer halal hagadol levarach lebasayif. So, in other words, don't get confused over here by the fact that the Chavetz Chaim says that this only applies if you did not yet drink the kais revius. After all, the way I explained it to you, you're going to drink a fifth kais after you already drank the fourth kais. Yes, what the Ramah means is like this. If you already finished halal and you already said melech muhulal batishbachos, so now you have to make a bar priagafen and you have to drink the fourth kais. Now you can't turn around and say, okay, I'll repeat halal hagadol and I'll drink a kais chamishis. No, what kind of kais chamishis? That kais would have no connection to the seder. Just because you're repeating halal hagadol, you're not adding any shavach v'hidah to the Rabbanan Shalom that you didn't already say. You already said halal hagadol, and you're not being messiahim with a bracha of melech muhulal batishbachos. So we can't call it a kais chamishis. It's just another cup of wine that you happen to be drinking later. That we're not going to be matir. What we're being matir is, if you did not yet say melech muhulal batishbachos, and you didn't already make a bar priagafen and drink the kais revius, so now I have an eitzah for you. The eitzah is, don't make the melech muhulal batishbachos. Just go ahead and make a bar priagafen on a kais of yayin, and then say halal hagadol, and make a chasim of melech muhulal batishbachos and drink a kais chamishis, because there are shitas that hold of a kais chamishis. That's what the Chavetz Chaim and the Ramah seem to be saying, according to my understanding. Okay. Now we go to Tzadik Amud Aleph to Seif Beis. Chayev Adam Lasoik B'Hilchas HaPesach U'B'Yetzias Mitzrayim. A person should be Isaac. A person should be busy discussing. I wonder if this would work better. I'm not on your end, so I can't. I don't know how the sound pickup is. I'll review the recording later. Hopefully, the mic should be picking up from here. I hope you notice an improvement in the sound quality of these videos. I part of upgrading my equipment that I've been doing is I've upgraded the audio sound of this. I used to be using the mic pickup from the computer itself, and it had a lot of background noise. It wasn't very clear. So I added a microphone over here to improve the audio quality, but I have it off to the side, but from my understanding, it should work very well here off to the side. So, Seif Beis, on Tzadik Amud Aleph. Chayev Adam Lasik B'Hilchas HaPesach U'B'Yetzias Mitzrayim. A person should be busy discussing, learning Hilchas Pesach, and discussing Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, U'Lesaper Banisu U'Manafloi She'asa HaKadosh Baruch Hu La'aviseinu, and to discuss all of the wonders, the nisim and the flies that the Rabbanan Shalom did for our forefathers, ad shetachtafenu shina, until sleep overtakes him. Now, we already discussed previously how the Poskim write that ad shetachtafenu shina does not mean until you're falling asleep on the table, because like we're going to say right now, you have to be able to say Kriya Shema alamita. You have to be able to say the bracha of Hamapil. If you daven Ma'ariv early, you have to be able to say Kriya Shema over again. So certainly that's not what it means. Ad shetachtafenu shina means until you're very tired and it's time to go to sleep. You got to go to sleep. Your eyes are closing. You're like people say, oh, I'm falling asleep already. Okay, so then it's time to stop. But that's what ad shetachtafenu shina means. Says the Ramah Hagah. The Chol Din Leil Rishon, all of the halachas that we are learning over here, that all apply to the first Seder night. Yesh Gam Kein B'Leil Sheni, they all apply to the second Seder equally. V'nayhagim Shaloi Likreis Al Mitasai Rak Parsha Shema. The minig is that by the night of the Starim, we don't say the full Kriya Shema Al Hamita, including all of the kapitlach that we say for Shmira purposes. there's a lot of Kriyat Shema Lamita where we're beseeching Hashem, we're asking Hashem for protection. We don't say that by the Seder night. We only say Shema. Why? Because the nights of the Starim, when we celebrate the Nisav and the Neflois of Sipur Yitzias Mitzrayim, those are called Leil Shimurim. Those are nights of protection. We have tremendous emunah and betachon. The whole thing that we're celebrating by the Starim is emunah and betachon of the Rabbeinu Shalom, that the Rabbeinu Shalom takes care of us. So you know what? On this night, we don't even have to recite extra tefillas for Shimur. We don't have to beseech the Rabbeinu Shalom for extra protection. That's the whole theme of the whole night, is that the Rabbeinu Shalom here, the Rabbeinu Shalom is watching us, the Rabbeinu Shalom is protecting us. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Ais Katan Dalet Shema, V'tzarech levarech Birkas Hamapil. Of course, you also have to make the bracha of Hamapil. V'im kara Kriyat Shema bebeis hakneses kaidam alayla. If you daven the Ma'ariv early, before Tzeis HaKechavim, Tzarech Likreis Kala Kriyat Shema Kedei Lotzeis. You have to repeat Kriyat Shema to be Yotze the Mitzvah Say Daraisa of Kriyat Shema Shalayla. Now, normally people don't daven Ma'ariv early by the Seder nights because the mitzvahs of the Seder all have to be fulfilled after Tzeis HaKechavim. So why are you davening Ma'ariv early? You can't start anything until after Tzeis HaKechavim anyway. But technically speaking, if somebody davened Ma'ariv early, maybe that's the only minyan he had, was an early minyan for Ma'ariv, for whatever reason. Somebody davened Ma'ariv early, he's going to, of course, have to repeat Kriyat Shema. He's going to have to say all three parshas of Kriyat Shema before he goes to sleep in order to be Yotze in the Mitzvah Say Daraisa of Kriyat Shema Shalayla. Okay. Now we go on to Siman Tuf Pei Beis. A very interesting Siman, and this is one of those sections of halacha that we're going to learn now that I think until this whole coronavirus situation that we've been going through, many people would have looked and they would say, come on, is this really Negeah? How Negeah could this be? But now we have seen what it means to have shortages. And we've had shortages of the strangest items, right? We've had shortages of yeast, shortages of yogurt, forget shortages of toilet paper. That's upgerät. But you see how the most interesting things have gone off the shelves. I actually had to research how to make challah using either starter dough, right, which is something that sa'ar. We talk about sa'ar. Sa'ar is sourdough. So I had to research how to make challah using sourdough, how to make bread, how to make challah without any yeast at all, using baking soda, baking powder to make it rise. Baruch Hashem, it never came to it. We did manage to get yeast before we totally ran out of yeast, but definitely we thought for a while that we weren't going to have. So now we know what it means to have shortages, and there were plenty of people who had shortages of matzah. The matzah bakeries were down tremendously in their capacity between workers in the matzah bakeries that got sick and closures, etc., etc. So a lot less matzah was available this year than other years. So the Shulchan Aruch says here, Siman Tuf Pei Beis, Din mi she'ein loy matzah shmura. What's the halacha of somebody who doesn't have shmura matzah? U'boi sif echad, and we have over here one sif. Says the Mechaber, mi she'ein loy matzah mishumeres ela kazayis. What does somebody do if he only has one kazayis of shmura matzah? Says the Mishnah Berurah in Ais Katan Aleph, mishumeres. When we say that he doesn't have shmura matzah, what are we referring to when we talk about Shemura Matzah? Ayin La'el Siman Tuf Nun Gimel Sif Dalid. Look earlier in Siman Tuf Nun Gimel Sif Dalid, Mahu Mishumeres. What do we call Shemura Matzah? Va'ayin Bir Halacha, and the Chavetz Chaim says you could look at the Bir Halacha right over here. So let's take a look at this Bir Halacha. The Bir Halacha Dibra Maschel Matzah Mishumeres. Says the Chavetz Chaim, Ayin La'el Siman Tuf Nun Gimel Sif Dalid, where we wrote that there are three different madregas when it comes to Shmura Matzah. Let's remember, we said that for the Matzah Shel Mitzvah, forget for the Matzah that you eat all Pesach long, but the Matzah Shel Mitzvah, the Matzah that you're going to eat to Mekayim, your Chiyuv of Achilas Matzah, it has to be Shmura Matzah. What does that mean? It has to have a Shmira, a specific Shmira, that you watched it, guarded it, and protected it from becoming chametz. Not only that you watched it that it shouldn't become chametz, you watched it that it should not become chametz l'shem mitzvah, to be mekayim the mitzvah. It had a shimur l'shem mitzvah. The rest of the matzah that you eat on Pesach, you just have to know that it's not chametz. As long as it's not chametz, you can eat it, but it doesn't need shimur. Now, This extra shimur that we need, what level, from when does it have to be meshumer? From when does it need protection? So we said that there are 3 different madregas, 3 different shitas. Says the Bir Halacha here, the me'ikar adin dai b'shimur mishas tchina. Really, to be mekayim the requirement of shmur matzah, you need a shmira from the time that you ground the wheat into flour. Once you grind the wheat into flour, now if it comes into contact with any moisture, it could very easily become chametz. So once you grind it, you need a special shmira l'shem mitzvah to make sure it does not get wet. In a pressing circumstances where you don't have any flour that you had shmira from the time of the grinding, mishas lisha. It's enough to have a shmira from the time that you did the kneading. If you have a shmira from the time that you mamish exposed the flour to water, where you poured water into the flour, now it really could become chametz. So now you have a shmira l'shem mitzvah to make sure that it doesn't become chametz. We said earlier that the reason why you would need an extra level of shmira mishas tchina, is because tchina grinding is when you bring it to the mill. And often the mill was a water mill. So we said you're bringing the wheat to the water, because the mill is located by the water. Now already you need shmira. Ela sheyesh machmirim, continues to be our halacha. There are those that are machmir shetzar shimur mishas ktsira, that you need shimur not only mishas tchina, you need shimur mishas ktsira. Once you harvested the wheat, now already you need shimur l'shem mitzvah in order to be yotze, to use this flour to be yotze the mitzvah of achilas matzah. Why? Because as long as it's mechuber to the ground, it can't become chametz, even if it's exposed to water. But once you cut it, now it could become chametz. So here you have 3 madregas. You have the best, which is shmira mishas ktsira. You have what we want, lechatchila at least, shmira mishas tchina. And then really mishas adchak, you can have shmira mishas lisha. Says the Chavetz Chaim, ulefikach, therefore, im ein loy matzah mishumeres mishas ktsira rak kezayis. Let's say you have a kezayis of matzah that's had shmira mishas ktsira. Ushar matzah shaloi mishumares rak mishas lisha. And then you have plenty of other matzah that has shimur mishas lisha. It had shimur from the time that you kneaded it into dough. Bazeh, in such a case, yesh lai linod k'may shenayim tader. If that's what you have, you should comport yourself by the Seder the way you do every single year. Take the best kezayis of shmura matzah that you have. That kezayis that you have that has shmira mishas ketzira, and that's what you'll use by moitzi matzah. You'll make the bracha of hamoitzi and the bracha of alachilas matzah, and you'll eat that kezayis of matzah that had shmira mishas ketzira. You'll use that for your moitzi matzah to be mekayim the chiyuv of achilas matzah. Ukricha, and for kairich yasa mimatzahamishumeris mishas lisha v'chein no afikamen gam kain mimatzah zu. So for the kairich and for the afikamen, you'll use the other shmura matzah that you have, the matzah that's shmura mishas lisha, because even though that's not perfect, that's not the greatest, that's not really what we want, but b'di'evet, that is called shmura matzah. It's shmura mishas lisha. So if you have that, if that's your situation, then the halacha that we're going to learn over here in Taf Pei Beis is not negated to you. That's called you have shmura matzah. When the mechaber says misha ein lo matzah mishumeres ala kezayis, when the mechaber is addressing somebody who only has a kezayis of shmura matzah, it means he only has a kezayis of matzah that has shima l'shem mitzvah at all. He only has a kezayis maybe of shmura mishas ktsira, and the rest of the matzah is not shmura matzah at all. It's not chametz, but it didn't have shima l'shem mitzvah. Okay, we're going to stop over here, and we'll continue more in Siman Taf Pei Beis tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me for Limud HaTorah. The schus of Limud HaTorah should be Megan on Gans Klal Yisrael, and the Rabban Shem should chick Yeshuas and Refuas to all that are in need. The Rabban Shem should send Parnasa to all those that are in need. We should only have simchas. Everybody should be well. I can't wait to see everybody in person. Be well.